This is Mark Galvin, and this is My Windsor Life.
And you grew up here in Windsor?
I did. I grew up in the Fontainebleau area, which is on that map. My boyhood home's actually on that map behind us, and it's been part of my DNA since I was a kid. Walking to and from my grade school, I could see the planes taking off and landing, coming in, and so that's been a part of my life since I was a kid.
We're going to ask you some Windsor, Essex County specific questions.
Okay.
Let's see if you can remember some of them.
Sure.
We're going to start with the big hard one. We're in Windsor, so what is your favorite Windsor pizza or restaurant for Windsor pizza?
There's so many. I like Antonino's, but we order from many of them at different times, right? So certainly Capri and Naples and Armando's, but I like I'm an Antonino's guy. So if it's up to me, I'm going to Antonino's.
Is it the Angry Canadian?
It depends. I'm actually like Hawaiian pizza as well. So I know it's a controversial subject, but and it kind of fluctuates. Sometimes we'll even do a veggie pizza with sun-dried tomatoes or something like that. But I don't always get the final vote in the house. So
awesome. Growing up, what was your favorite bar, or your favorite hangout to go to?
Wow, that's a great one. East End, we'd go to Diamonds, which no longer exists. Sometimes we'd go downtown, or we'd go to Detroit, depending on what we do. So we would fluctuate. I played a lot of slow pitch, so it was whoever was sponsoring us is where we'd end up going.
When you're in the bars, I mean, now it's probably a different answer, but what was your favorite Windsor band, or what is your favorite Windsor band that you'd like to listen to and kind of shout out when people are asking?
Oh, that's a great question. The Tea Party was one that when I grew up with, I remember seeing them back in the university days when they weren't called the Tea Party. Before that, I know both my sons, the Autumn Kings in LaSalle. So those are the two that come to mind for sure.
So growing up here, what is like an annual event, or gives you that nice warm feeling that it is Windsor, or it's like maybe this is the springtime, or this is like start of school? What yearly event?
I mean, it's hard when you grew up in the age I am. The Freedom Festival was the carnival coming downtown was it was a huge thing, because you could go there and basically leave in the morning and stay there for hours, and then culminating, of course, with a monster fireworks display, which when we would have, as we got a little older and we would have friends come and visit us, and we'd say, well, let's go to the fireworks. And I think they assumed it'd be a 5-minute firework kind of thing. And then it's like, 40 minutes or 30 minutes and just blown away at the scale of the event. And then, of course, when you go somewhere else and you see other fireworks displays, and the first thing you say is, it's not as good as the Freedom Festival. So that's one. And, Strawberry Fest, the Tomato Festival. There's one thing about Essex County, there's always something to do, a festival or an event within our community, whether it's in Windsor or it's in Amherstburg or Leamington or what have you. So if you're looking for something to do or something to see, it's a fantastic place, and it's why I choose to live here. Is things like that, and some of the things that you're asking are the reasons why it becomes my community and it's my home.
You're here as an airport CEO, so
yeah.
You don't have to be the concierge for everybody, but if you're going to have somebody come in and you want to take them around Essex County, Windsor, and show them a day, what would that day in Windsor look like? Yeah,
I mean, obviously there's seasonal variation, right? But when you're talking about in the summer or even the spring to the summer, even to the fall, I mean, we have the wineries. You can go and do a tour. You can go here and go. Then they go see the lake, and depending on where they're from, they view some people, the lakes are small things, and when they go and they see Lake Erie, and it's like, wow, that's a huge lake, right? And even just sort of walking up and down the riverfront is great, and getting a coffee and then going to a local restaurant. All of those things are fantastic. And then having Detroit across from us, there's always things to do there as well. You can kind of do a hybrid, right? Whether it's Henry Ford Museum, Greenfield Village, or a sporting event. If the Spits are playing, we go to the Spits game. So it kind of fluctuates. You get into the winter season, it's a little different, right? But then you got like also gems that we forget we have because we live here, like Point Pelee National Park, right? Which every time you go, depending on the season, is a different experience. Ojibwe, I live close to that, so you can just sort of walk and observe and see, and maybe kind of your blood pressure goes down a few points just because you're watching the birds go by or just kind of going for a walk. And so we try to like piece together depending on who's coming in to visit, what do you want to do? How do you want to spend your time? And we'll just be the chauffeurs and sort of the advocates of our area. And I think people are very pleasantly surprised. Say, "Oh, I didn't know you could do this," or "I didn't know this existed." And when you live somewhere, you forget about the hidden gems that you have, that you kind of get desensitized because they're always here. And when seeing them through someone else's eyes, it almost reinvents that event or that thing for yourself.
So if you were able to steal a plane here and then fly to any city and go for lunch somewhere in the world, where would that be?
I'm a big fan of Vienna. Vienna's probably my favorite city. I've been there a few times. If it's February, maybe it's different. But as a Europe destination, I'm a big fan of Vienna. Anywhere south where we have our sun destinations is another great place. And I think, traveling is wonderful and it's great. But there's so much to see. And that's our mission really is YQG just wants to connect people to the world, where they want to go, bring places where they want to go and bring people here that want to be here. And one of the things I didn't mention when you asked the question of the day is and this is sort of proving my point that you get desensitized. We have a fantastic aviation museum, the Canadian Aviation Museum right here, which has some wonderful, historical artifacts and warplanes. So you do forget those kinds of things, right? So if I could steal a plane, I don't think I'm allowed to do that. But yeah, to your question, probably Vienna. And if it's January or February, much more south than Vienna.